Hi everyone, Fiona the Clean Kitchen Coach here. We are on beautiful Cloud Bay. Ben and I are here today visiting our friends and we decided to bake some apple crisp. I am going to teach you about baking ingredients and why those ingredients are needed to make delicious desserts and how you can substitute those ingredients with plant-based, gluten-free, sugar-free ingredients so that you're getting a delicious dessert, but it's also nutritious. So the first thing that we're going to do to make a cobbler is to make the crumbly parts. And if you are using traditional ingredients, you'd probably use oats and flour, which I'm not against using oats. Today what we're going to use is ground up pecans because yum. And that's going to replace your oats. Whenever I'm making a crumble, I do 2 parts of oats, 1 part sugar, and a half a part of fat. We're not going to use sugar, we're going to use dates. So I put the dates in there, which is just sugar. And why do we need the sugar? Because dessert is sweet. And then I'm going to put the fat in there. And why do I put the fat in there? Because a dessert should have a really luxurious, smooth, creamy, decadent texture to it. The texture with the dessert is super important. You could use some nut butter or some oil. What we're going to do today is some mushed up banana. That also helps to bind ingredients together.
And it adds moisture.
We're going to add a little tiny bit of salt into there because salt just enhances the flavor of everything. I know it's weird to think, why is salt going in a dessert, right? But it does enhance the flavor. And how much am I using? I don't measure anything. You don't want too much salt, so that's how you guess how much you're going to put in there. Too much salt would not taste good. Too little, it's not going to do enough. So we just put a pinch in there. And then we're going to put some baking powder in there.
If you're wondering what the difference between baking soda and baking powder is, baking soda is just sodium bicarbonate, so it has lots of sodium in it. The baking powder has an acid and sodium bicarbonate. When it mixes with water, it fizzes up a little bit, and that's going to be helpful to leaven your baking.
And then with baking, what you want to do is put some spices in there. So I have a combination already. I put some cinnamon and allspice and cloves and a little tiny bit of nutmeg. And I like a lot of cinnamon, but some people don't. So I didn't go too heavy with it because I am serving it to my friends tonight and I want them to still be my friends after that. So I'm going to put a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of almond. So we kind of got a lot of flavors in there. I find that those flavors work really, really well together. So just a couple drops of almond extract and a couple drops of the vanilla. I am going to include in the description to this video a PDF that I've put together
listing all of the fruit that works well in baked desserts, all of the flour substitutes, all of the sugar substitutes. So when you want to make a dessert, you don't have to follow a recipe. You just need to know the method.
You want your sugar and your fat.
You may want an egg substitute to bind and leaven your baking.
You're going to want some flavors in there, like the vanilla and the cinnamon. You could also use orange extract, coffee in there. That would be really good too. We have this crumble made, and it smells so good, guys. Oh my God, so good. We are going to use tin foil because we're going to actually bake this in that fire over there. So we're just going to make these foil packages. If you're at home, you could use an oven, put it in the air fryer. You could do it on the stovetop if that's all that you had. You could put it in a saucepan and saute your fruit and put the crumble on top of it, put a lid on it. That'll still cook it. It'll be delicious. What we're gonna do today is I got these apples. They're very thinly sliced. Put that in there and then I'm gonna put some of this crumble on top. You could use a baking dish, layer your apples in there and then put the crumble on top, put it in your oven at 350, and when is it done? When the apples are nice and soft. So we don't give times when we're cooking. We can give an approximate, like, okay, well, it's not gonna be done in 5 minutes, but maybe check it after 20. But the reason why I don't say it's 20 minutes is because I don't know how much moisture is in your apples. I don't know how properly calibrated your oven is. Or in this case, we don't know how hot our fire is. I don't know what altitude you are at. You have to check your food to see if it's done. I A timer is never going to be an accurate way to know if your food is done. Your food is done when it's done. And in this case, it's going to be done when the apples are fork tender. And it is up to personal preference. So if you like your apples a little bit more crispy, then don't cook it as long, don't bake it as long. And if you like them really mushy, then keep them in the fire a little bit longer. We're gonna throw some of the rhubarb on there that I picked out of my garden today. And I am gonna double wrap these. And then I am going to go bury them in the fire. So our delicious, luxurious desserts are all packaged and ready to go into the coals of the fire. So you don't wanna put anything onto flames of fire because then you're gonna char it. And yeah, we don't ever want to eat char. That's not a good idea. We put it into the coals and we're going to let it rest there for maybe 10 minutes.
Now you want to know if it's delicious, right? Okay, let's see. It is.
Very good. Oh my god, it is so good, guys. You have to try apple cobbler on a campfire. Also, highly recommend that you like and follow and subscribe because I'm going to be making more videos teaching you how to cook using methods instead of recipes so that you can have delicious food that is nutritious. Thanks for watching.